Hi, Desiree. I'm really glad that you found me. I'm not quite sure. Did you say that you found me at the Writer's Digest conference? Anyway, if you're not familiar with what I do, I'm assuming that you are. You know that I'll read this and then I'll just chat with you about it, and you can decide whether what I have to say is worthwhile. I think I'll be able to help you out here. And then the other thing is that if you have some follow-up questions, I'm glad to answer some of those, as long as it doesn't require a whole lot of my time. But I think this is a good value. So let's go ahead and start reading. My name is Desiree Adams, and I would love for you to consider my young adult Southern Gothic magical realism manuscript, tentatively titled Shade, which is complete at 72,000 words. High expectations define Shade St. Clair's life. A single act of rebelliousness, lying to her parents so she can attend a party the night of her 16th birthday, explodes into a night of carousing in the French Quarter and ends up with a tattoo of a giant serpent across her back. Shade realizes her problems are much larger than hiding her new ink. She also begins having haunting visions of her classmate's abducted brother. A chance meeting with a woman Shade thinks is a stranger reveals her birth mother was a reluctant voodoo queen, ousted from her place by her paternal grandmother. When she discovers there are other missing children from nearby small towns, Shade is forced to accept both her family history and newfound gifts in order to find them. Shade is the first book in a series, of which books 1 and 2 are complete. I am currently working on the third. Thank you for your consideration. And then your name. Okay, so tentative title Shade. It's a YA. Magical realism. Southern Gothic magical realism. I'm assuming that you are very well versed in the genres in YA, or the subgenres. I'm not, but it sounds like you're spot on in terms of your protagonist's age. And I know that magical realism is something that YA market likes. So here's what I want to tell you. Really, really, really like it. Okay? Like it. We've got something good here. In terms of story, however, this letter leaves me confused. And it could be that you just, don't have a whole lot of experience writing query letters. Totally understandable. Or it could be that this query letter, specifically that second paragraph, is reflective of confusion in your storytelling. It could be one, it could be the other. Or it could be a combination of both, which often is. So let's just talk about this query as is. I would not start out by, don't ever start a query with my name is. Don't ever start a query with that. We know your name, we look at the bottom. So get rid of all of that on top. The only reason why you would do that kind of an intro is if somebody from this agent's agency or this publisher's house or this editor's house recommended you and said whatever. Or if you adored one of the books that this agent reps, although that's really become a cliche. I love you because you represented my favorite author. So the first paragraph, let's just get rid of that. And so now you've just freed up at least 30, 50 words, probably 45 or 50. Okay. So here's what I think from this query letter, and then I'm hoping that my thought process will just help you appreciate how this story unfolded in that graph that you sent. So I think what happens is that this story opens on the eve of her 16th birthday. I'm assuming that it probably opens with some kind of a fight or she is pulling wool over their eyes, and so it's some kind of a setup that opens the story. Then, from this letter, I'm assuming absolutely everything else happens after that night. So I'm assuming that she does not know about her classmate's abducted brother, or she hasn't started to dream about him or have haunting visions of him until that night of her 16th birthday. I'm assuming that she also met this woman who either turns out to be her birth mother or leads her to her birth mother. Again, confusing from that sentence that you put in there. So you read that over. But one or the other, I'm also assuming she meets her after that night of her 16th birthday. Okay. And then I also discover that after that night of her 16th birthday, that she realizes that there's a lot of missing children in nearby homes. And all of this happens after that night on her 16th birthday. So I see where you're going with her character's arc, and I like it very much. I think that's cool. I mean, she's going to be a heroine. By accepting who she is, she's also able to project goodness. And so that's probably changing the fate of her family tree, because in the past, voodoo people were ostracized, yes. So she's going to take those powers and turn them for good. But all of this happens at the end of after her 16th birthday, when she gets that serpent tattoo. So, if this is all true, and all of this is uncovered, then you need to set up the serpent tattoo, and you need to set up the whole story. I think. Could she? And again, I don't know. So if all that's true, I think you need to set up earlier before you open with her 16th birthday. Okay? Hope you're tracking. If all that's true. So if all that is true, perhaps you want to have her be haunted by these images that she's assuming in dreams. And perhaps all of this kind of collides in the first chapter and culminates with her 16th birthday. Although she's been anxious or whatever, because she keeps seeing these serpents. She keeps seeing a vision, but it can't be a vision, it has to be a serpent. Only after the 16th birthday, where the serpent ends up on her back, does she begin to put the pieces together. That, it wasn't a dream, it was something new, and now she's on her quest to move happy. Do you see that? I really hope you see that, because I really like the idea of this story, if in fact this story is falling out the way I think it's falling out from that graphic novel. I like the idea that it's a series, and it was on as that. I would say that I have what I hope are the second in this series is all done, but my only goal right now is to sell this because it's standalone and it's getting terrific reviews, and my writing group, I don't know, whatever. If you have any credits, Desiree, then you need to put them in the bottom. I also think it will help to let us know your age, because it's not always true, but oftentimes it is true that for new writers anyway, to write in a time that, perhaps was 20 years ago, is more challenging craft-wise than if you are just coming out of your own writing. Not always true, but this is how agents look at things. So I would worry, though, about the arc of this story that you're telling here. I love the way you end it. Shade is forced to accept both her family history and newfound gifts in order to find these children. But we have to know more. Okay, so I'm really glad that I read that, because here's another one. If all of this has happened after her 16th birthday, then you have to foreshadow not only the serpent, but you also have to foreshadow kids being missing. And that's easy to do. It's in the news all the time. Another kid missing. You see? So you need to set those things up. If everything has happened after the 16th birthday, set us up with the portions of this narrative that absolutely need to be planted, seeds planted, so that we can breadcrumbs, so the babies can follow, so the readers can follow. And we don't have enough breadcrumbs here. If in fact all of this happens after her 16th birthday, and it has to be rectified by having, some seeds planted. And I think the serpent seed and the little kids missing and found seed is just easy to easy for me to do. I hope this is helpful. I could go on and on, but I won't. I'm looking at the time. I usually like to round them off about 8 minutes, probably after 8 minutes I start feeling myself. But I'm glad that I took another look at this, because I love what I was going to tell you was that what you did perfectly well, and that is Shade is forced to accept both her family history and newfound gifts in order to find one. You didn't tell us what was going to happen, but you let us know, oh, okay, it's going to be a rocky road, but look where we're going. You didn't say happy ever after. You ratcheted up the tension even more, and that's where we're going, because an agent interested in this, who's representing this kind of fiction, will go, all right, well, let's get the first 3 chapters. So I hope that happens to you, and I hope that this is helpful. And again, shoot me some questions, and I'll see what I can do to answer them. Thanks again for your business, Desiree, and I'm really glad that you remembered me. That's